This is Busayo from easyimmigrationhelp.com. Easyimmigrationhelp.com is a website that was created to support people who are filing immigration petitions by themselves. This video will inform you about what to expect after you submit your immigration application to the USCIS. In my experience, it usually takes the USCIS about, let's say, about 2 to 3 weeks to respond to any submitted filings, and they will usually notify you with an official notice. But if you included this form G1145 with your initial filings, you should obtain an initial notification either by email or by text message. Another thing is, if you submitted your filing fees with a check, you can just keep an eye on your account to see whether it's been withdrawn or not, because if they accepted it, they will definitely withdraw the filing fees from your account. When you submit your application to the USCIS, you're going to receive a formal notice by mail. On this form, I-79C, Notice of Action. This is the form that the USCIS will use to communicate important information relating to your case. If your case is accepted and it's in process by the USCIS, you will receive what is called a receipt notice. The receipt notice will indicate as such. Then on the receipt notice, the very, very important information, I'll advise that you save, if you can, make a scanned copy of this receipt notice, so that way, even if you lose the original copy, you will still have a copy to refer to, because on there you have your information, the case information, and also maybe if you're a petitioner filing for the beneficiary, you have information about the beneficiary also. You are instructed to review the details of the information on the receipt notice, and if you find any errors, you should inform the USCIS immediately. So another thing that I want to emphasize with regards to the receipt notice is that the receipt notice contains two very, very important information. The first being your receipt number. The receipt number is your unique case identifier with the USCIS. You're going to be referring to that case number each time you call them, so that way they're able to locate your case and provide you with information. Another thing about the receipt number is that each of your applications, let's assume you submitted concurrent applications with the USCIS, each of those applications have their own unique number. So don't assume that it's the same number for all of the applications. So let's say you filed, you're doing an adjustment of status process right now, and you filed your adjustment of status application, you filed an I-130 relative petition, and you also filed like a work authorization petition. So if you call the USCIS to inquire, if you want to find out more about your work authorization, you will give them the information for your work authorization, not the information for your I-485. So don't assume that the officer, once you give them one, they'll be able to locate the rest of it. They can locate it based on other information, but at least have all the numbers handy. So the other information on there which I want to emphasize on is called the priority date. Your priority date, I would think of it as your time in line, your position in line with the USCIS. For most applications with the USCIS, they process it on a first come first served basis. So once you submit your application, they'll stamp it with a date which they commenced the processing. So that date is referred to as the priority date. So this date becomes very important if you're in a preference category and your application is not current. So you have to keep monitoring that priority date, so that way you are informed of when they will begin to process your case. Another time when it's very important is if your case is being processed outside of the scheduling time, outside of the processing times, or beyond, like they process according to the date range. So let's assume that you filed an I-130 petition and the USCIS is currently processing cases that were received on, let's say, March 1, 2019, and you submitted your application February 1, 2019. That means that your case is being processed outside of the processing time, is being delayed beyond the times allotted for it. So in that situation, I would advise you to contact the USCIS to find out the reasons for the delays, and they'll usually make a service request. They don't typically make the service request if your case is not outside of the processing times. So you can find out more information about the processing times by going on this website. Once you obtain your receipt notice from the USCIS, you're able to monitor your case status online by going on this government website, I also strongly advise that you sign up for an account with the USCIS. That way you're able to get direct case information through the online accounts. Usually the online account would even provide you with information before they send you an official notice. So it's strongly advisable for you to sign up for an account with the USCIS. Sometimes when you submit an application to the USCIS, it happens to the best of us, believe me. It might be rejected for whatever reason. Don't panic when you receive a rejection notice. I'll advise you to read through the notice carefully. If you have any questions, seek the advice of a competent immigration attorney and make the necessary corrections and resubmit your application. Sometimes the rejections are due to your error, or it might be due to the USCIS, to the reviewing officers error. Don't beat yourself over that. Just resubmit the applications. It's not a big deal. It gives you an opportunity to make necessary corrections, and if you need to add some more documents at that point, then add some more documents and resubmit to the USCIS. Another thing is you could be scheduled for a biometrics appointment. These are usually for applicants who are 14 years to about 78 years of age. The biometrics appointment notice will come on that form I-797C as well, and it's just for the USCIS to capture your fingerprints and also your photograph. It's nothing to be worried about. Just follow the instructions in the appointment notice and try and keep the appointment which you have been scheduled for. The USCIS sometimes might send in what is called what is popularly known as the RFE. RFEs are not denials, they're just requests for more evidence. Go through the RFE, make sure you understand what the request is for or what it's about. If you need the service of an attorney, contact an attorney to help you if you want to strategize on your case. But what you have to bear in mind is that the RFEs are time sensitive. If you fail to respond within the required time frame, your case may be denied for abandonment. So that becomes very, 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 very important. Make sure you respond to the RFE in a timely fashion. Also, you can be, if your case requires an interview, it's not all cases that are being called in for interviews, but if you are scheduled for an interview, attend the interview, prepare for the interview. If you go on our website, easyimmigrationhelp.com, if you go on the free resources, we have interview questions for marriage-based applications. So you can download them to review with your spouse. It's not a big deal. Just be yourself at the interview. Make sure you know all the information that is on your application forms, and if there are any errors on your application forms, that is the best time to bring it up, because those forms are not just mere forms. They are legal documents subject to laws of perjury. So if there's any information that is wrong on that form, make sure you bring it to the attention of your interviewing officer, because you don't want the USCIS to say that you're giving them wrong information under oath. And also, in conclusion, if you need any information, I would always start with the government website. Don't go on dodgy websites. Always, the USCIS.gov has a lot of information on there, a lot of information on there. So anything you need about your case, you can go on there to review. They even have the field manual on there. The field, can you imagine that? They have the field manual. Even attorneys, we use the field manual. So go on there, look at how the officers are directed to decide those cases. That will give you an idea of what you need to do. Then you can also contact them by phone. They have a general customer service number, which I put up here for you. It's 800-375-5283. It's also going to be in all of your receipt notices. So, or all of your notices from the USCIS. You can call them, with whatever information, with whatever question you might have, and they're always willing to assist you. Or you go on the website and try and find out more information from them. It is important for you to notify the USCIS of any changes in your address. So if you move from your current address, the address that you were when you filed your immigration application, then you have to inform them of such a move within 10 days. This can be done electronically. It's very easy to do. You really don't need anybody to help you with that. So you can do it on uscis.gov/AR11. It's very, very easy. Just click on follow the online instructions. You see here it says file online. Just click on that button and follow the directions. But in some situation, you may not be able to file online. For instance, if you're filing for a VAWA case, you're a victim of domestic violence, and you're doing a self-petition, you're unable to do so online. So then you just complete the PDF form and mail it to the service address that is processing the case, or you can look online to find out the address to mail your AR11 card to. So make sure you keep information of the changes made to your address. So if you file it electronically, at the end, you should be able to enter your email address, so that way you obtain an email copy. I just print my screen as well, so that way I know that I have both the email, then a printer, a screen notification of the effecting the submission. One key thing here is that once you change your address on one petition, make sure you do so on all your other petitions. If you're filing concurrent applications, don't assume that if you change it on one, it's going to automatically change on the others. No, it doesn't work that way. Make sure when you're entering in the information, you enter the individual receipt numbers to effect changes on all of those applications. We hope you found our video helpful. You can visit us online for more resources at easyimmigrationhelp.com. The website was created to assist people who are filing their immigration application by themselves. You can also contact us by email or by phone. Thank you.